you getting excited about bringing your new puppy home? Well, today I'm going to go through some things that we feel are important to have on hand when you bring your puppy home for the first time. We're going to talk a little bit about what you need to bring your puppy home. Our puppies go home with their little puppy collar that are breakaway, but those aren't so great for leading your dog because they will break away if they pull on it. But you're probably going to go through many sizes if you have a golden retriever like we do, between this and the adult size. But get a collar that fits them appropriately and make sure you get a tag. You want to have all of your current information on there should your pet get lost. I recommend a 6-foot leash like this one. I like the Kong because it has the padded handle. It also has a handle right down here so I can keep my dog close to my side, and it's just really handy. They're 6 foot is a really good length, and that's what I recommend for starting out. Once you begin sit stays, down stays, and teaching come, we recommend that you get a 20-foot cotton lead. That way your puppy can be out walking around and you can call it to come and help it come in. That brings up the subject of a flexi leash. You say, why don't we use a flexi leash? Wouldn't that be easier? Well, sometimes it might seem easier. These are really dangerous. They can get wrapped around dogs, people's legs. When your dog is 20 feet out there, you have really no control of it down the road. If a dog were to approach your dog, it would take you a while to reel that back in. So we just really put a big X over the flexi leashes and don't recommend these. Let's talk about some grooming supplies. The basic grooming supplies for a golden retriever would be a metal brush. I like metal over plastic. When you get those knots, it's much less likely for the little teeth to break. Metal can be sanitized. We've had this one a couple of years and it's worked really well. There's soft brushes that you can use on a puppy to get them used to that feeling of being groomed. Especially for golden retrievers, you want to groom them daily as a puppy, not necessarily because they need it, but because they need that practice. As an adult dog, you're gonna want them to stand, lay, or sit while you groom them, and it'll just make it much happier experience for both of you if you train your dog to enjoy grooming. Next, we're gonna want to have toenail clippers. These are a must. If you're new at toenail clipping, I recommend getting some Quick Stop. This is just some powder that you can put on there quick, the inside of the toenail, that if you cut too close, it will bleed. And this stops the bleeding fairly quickly. Treats are a really big topic, but today we'll just briefly talk about them. We like to have a treat container similar to this at our back door, so all the family members can quickly just grab a treat and give it to the dog for positive reinforcement for coming in from going to the bathroom. You can make homemade treats. Jillian made these pumpkin treats for our dogs and they love them. They're really inexpensive and fun for the kids. These are some small, crispy mini dog bones. I like the size of these because they're tiny. They are just a quick nibble. They're not something that they're gonna sit down and chew for a long time. It's a nice reward that's small. When you start training your puppy, you're gonna wanna use soft treats. That's really important because you want the puppy to just eat it, pretty much just swallow the treat, because you want it to be quick. You don't want them to be concentrating on that treat when you're really wanting them concentrating on sitting. You're gonna wanna have some soft and hard treats when you bring your puppies home. When it comes to feeding your dog, we really recommend you have metal bowls. And that comes from experience with our golden retriever, Winston. He loves bowls, and in fact, these are his favorite toys. And if we had a plastic bowl, it would probably last about 5 minutes because he would destroy it. And these ones here are probably 3 or 4 years old and there's not even a dent in them, and he plays with them all the time. So they also can be sanitized. That's another nice feature. So we recommend metal over the plastic just because they last longer. Again, if your puppy eats slow, bowls are great, but if you have a puppy that eats really fast like Winston does, we had to get him a puzzle bowl. And as you can tell, here's the plastic. It's been definitely chewed and loved on. We put his little food in here in the morning, and it takes him a good 10 minutes to eat it because he's got to work around the puzzle, and that slows him down less gas and intestinal upset with that. It's just healthier for dogs to eat their food slowly. Another way to provide treats is a lick mat. You can put yogurt, applesauce, peanut butter, soy butter, smear it on here, give it to your puppy when they're having nap time in their kennel for 10 or 15 minutes. If you have a puppy that's a super fast licker, freeze it before you give it to them. That'll take them longer to eat that. Don't leave your puppy unsupervised with this, but a few minutes in their kennel will give them time to relax if they're being overstimulated. Another fun game for your puppy is a Snuffle mat. We make and sell these. These are really fun. They are made out of polar fleece, and you can take the dog food and you just pour it in here, and it gives the dog an opportunity to use its nose and to think and to pull that dog food out of here. When it comes to dog beds, I like to use bumper beds. They have a little bumper around it. It's great to have next to your chair when you're teaching your dog to settle or to sit, stay. Bring a blanket when you pick up your puppy. Puppies love to be snuggled, especially in the wintertime. If you have a long ways to travel when you pick up your puppy, we really recommend that you bring some disposable potty pads. Puppies are not fully vaccinated, and parvo is a concern at this age. And so if you were to stop to have your dog go to the bathroom, put some potty pads down on the ground and let them use that instead so that they are protected. But when you're home and you need to use some pads in a playpen area, these are washable, they're waterproof, they save the environment. Just throw them in the wash. They work really well, and that will be easier than the disposable ones. And they're also safer because puppies at 8 to 10 weeks old will shred those if left unattended. Another thing that's not a must, but it is awful handy, is a monitor of some sort. Really like the peace of mind of being able to watch our puppies while we're gone. There are so many dog toys on the market today, and you'll have fun buying toys. You'll quickly learn which toys last and which don't. Some things to be aware of. We recommend rope toys are fun, but these are supervised toys. So we kind of have unsupervised toys and supervised toys. Toys that are filled with stuffing would not necessarily be a toy I would leave your dog with or put it in its kennel with, because it could shred it and eat it. Rope, great for tug of war or fetch, but again, it needs to be monitored because it could be a choking or eating hazard. Water toys. Golden retrievers, they are water dogs and they love to play fetch. So we have floatable water buoys that we can throw out there for them. Again, they're plastic and not something you would let your dog have. And the dogs don't play with this one anymore. I just use it for an example because Winston grabbed it and chewed off the end. So these little pieces of plastic can again be eaten. So not a safe toy to have unsupervised, but a great water toy when you're playing fetch. Balls are another great toy. Just make sure that they're a safe toy, that they're not a child's ball that isn't going to withstand the chewing phase of a puppy. Back to the topic of training. Your puppy, if you get one from us, is going to already be clicker trained in the fact that it's preloaded. And the reason we call it that is because they will be taught that a click equals a treat. And that's a really important first step for you to take it from there in your training. Have a clicker before your puppy comes home so you can continue that training that we started. There's several kinds of clickers. This is my favorite, the blue one. It's just really easy in my hand. I put a lanyard on it, put it around my neck, so I just have it all day long when I'm training the dogs. And if you listen carefully, you're gonna hear two different sounds. And as you can tell, this one here, really loud. This one here, really quiet. Our Chihuahua is scared of this one because it's really loud. I don't like this one because in public, it's like everybody looks around, what was that noise? This one's a pretty quiet one. The dogs can hear it, I can hear it. It marks the behavior, yet it's not super loud. If your dog, when you bring it home, is not microchipped, this goes along with the collars. I highly recommend you talking to your veterinarian and asking them about microchipping your pet, because so many animals have been returned to their homes because they have a microchip. All of our puppies go home with AKC Reunite microchips already in. We send our puppy owners home with a binder, and it's filled with all the puppy's medical information. And if you don't have a binder coming from your breeder, I recommend you set a binder up and keep all of your pet's information in it, because it's very vital when you're going to the vet and have an emergency that you know when the dog was vaccinated. If it's not your regular veterinarian, you can keep blood work in there, rabies certificates, the registration papers. It's just a great way to keep things contained, safe, and easy to manage. Kennels are another great topic for puppies, and we really recommend that you have one when you bring your puppy home. There are wired kennels, there's plastic kennels, there's wooden decorative kennels for living rooms. There's just a wide array of kennels for dogs, and it's really going to depend on your lifestyle, the size and breed of your dog, how long your dog will be in the kennel. There's a lot of factors going into the type of kennel you choose. We personally use the wire kennels because the dogs like the open feeling. They like having the two kennels next door to each other. They can see each other. They don't feel isolated. If you have a dog that really likes that cozy den feeling, the plastic one will probably be a better fit for you. If you have a puppy that is really struggling with potty training and is going to make a lot of accidents in the kennel, it's a lot easier to contain that than a wire kennel where it just kind of splashes out. So those are two options for you. Make sure that you get a kennel that's going to fit the dog as an adult. If you don't and you have a small one, then you're going to have to upgrade to a large one. We recommend buying the large one for their size, and most of them nowadays come with a divider, and you can put that divider in it to make the bed small, and then as the puppy grows you can move the divider back and eventually take it out. But these are just kind of the basics: toenail clippers, brushes, leashes, collars. Once you get a trainer that you're going to be working with your puppy, you can talk about different equipment that you want to use, treats. There's just a whole array, but these are just the basics for bringing your puppy home, because like I said, you're going to want to personalize this with your puppy's needs. And if you ever have any questions, send us an email, leave us a comment. We would love to answer your questions, and if we don't know the answer, we will find out for you or direct you to a source that can provide that answer for you. If you would like to watch the video where Ellie gave birth to 10 Golden Retriever puppies, click here.